Here are the 5 things you need to focus on to write a cold email that gets responses. First, to recap, there's 5 important parts of a cold email: the subject line, the opening sentence, the pain or problem statement, your value proposition, and your call to action. You have to work on each one in a sequential order because the first thing that a prospect sees is your subject line, and that determines whether or not they're going to open it. A couple things to keep in mind: keep it extremely short, 1 to 3 words, keep it vague, and try to invoke some sort of curiosity. And finally, make it look like an internal email as if a colleague wrote it to them. Once you've accomplished the subject line, you can assume they're opening that email, and the next step is writing a compelling opening sentence. Now, the most important thing here is that when a prospect is starting to read your email, they're trying to decide, is this just automated spam, or is this something I actually need to take action on? So what you need to do is show them upfront right away the research you did or why you're reaching out to them specifically. It's important to make it look like this email was only written for them in that first sentence. The next step is your problem or pain statement. This is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of times what your marketing team tells you or what you see on your website about problems you solve isn't actually what the customer is saying. It's not their verbiage. And so a simple way to solve for this is to upload at least a dozen of your discovery call transcripts into something like ChatGPT and then ask it, summarize the top 3 pain points that our customers are saying based on these call transcripts in the language that they would say it. Now you have 3 compelling and data-backed pain points that you can test in your cold emails. So that part is really important. The next step is your value proposition. So assuming that they find that problem relevant, you now need to prove to them that you have a solution for that problem and they need to believe you. So you need to have credibility. So 2 things you need to do in your value proposition: make it super concise, explain specifically not just the problem you solve, but how you solve it, again, in a concise way. And then number 2, add some sort of credibility in the form of similar customers you're working with, data, metrics, case studies, testimonials, examples, things of that nature. And then the last step is your call to action. Now, to be honest, the first 4 steps are far more important than your call to action. By the time they get to that point, they've pretty much decided if they're going to respond or not. But there's 2 types of call to actions that I would recommend you testing. The first one is an open-ended call to action, so something like, would you be open to learning more? The second one is an offer-based call to action. So that would be an example of something like, can I send you a 2-minute video? Can I send you some sort of lead magnet? Or can I send you a case study? So something that you're actually giving the prospect as opposed to asking for their time. So these are the top 5 things you need to focus on to create compelling cold emails. Follow Sell Better for more cold email tips like these.